And I remember our coach and everybody else were like, you guys got first place, be freaking happy. Like, you're the fastest team in the nation right now for your age group, be happy. And we were just all so defeated. Hello everybody, hope you're having a great day today. It's my birthday weekend, so I'm taking a couple days off work to just enjoy myself and go ride for a few hundred miles. Today's video, I'm going to be answering Ricky Bobber's challenge of 5 facts about yourself. So the way I'm going to do this video is I'll share the fact and then I'll tell the story behind it, and then we'll move on to the next one. So fact number 1, when I was in elementary school, I had to go to school with charcoal and a handkerchief in case of a chemical attack by neighboring countries. It's a bit relevant today because of with everything going on with Russia and Ukraine. Although I did not live during a quote-unquote wartime, there was always tension of something escalating. When I was younger, I lived in a very small country in the Middle East. And the Middle East is obviously known for having oil, and all of the surrounding countries around this tiny little country all claimed this other country as theirs, so that way they would have access to all of that oil. So I always had to go to school just in case there was a chemical attack. It was such a distinctive thing when my family came back to America, because I had done fire drills, we had chemical attack drills, but we never really had earthquake drills. But it's essentially the same process where you get under the desk and you stay there. But obviously with the chemical attack drill, you pull out the handkerchief and you pull out the charcoal, and to use that as a makeshift gas mask. The charcoal would help filter out some of those toxins. Now obviously it's not going to be as good as an actual gas mask, but it's just a preventative measure. And that's something I will always remember, because I never really knew why when I was younger in elementary school. All I knew was, oh, this is just a thing. And so that was just what we dealt with. Fact number 2 is I married my high school sweetheart. For those of you that don't know, my wife, her nickname on the channel is Tiny Tater, and we met in high school. We were in the same language class, so we both took Japanese, and she was a year behind me, and I started taking my language class a year late. So most of the time people will take it freshman year. I started to take languages in my sophomore year. We didn't really have the same friend circles, so we knew of each other, but we didn't really engage or talk to each other that much. It wasn't really until my senior year, and it was coming up to our winter ball or prom and all that good stuff. And that's not really my thing, but I was like, okay, it's my senior year. I should probably go just to have the experience and just do it and have kind of a final celebration with my friends before we go to college. I was thinking, like, who can I ask? I mean, who's gonna go out with this guy? I was thinking, it's like, oh, well, Tiny Tater, she's pretty cute. I kind of like her. She might say yes. Got some flowers, and we still weren't really talking. You know, we had a few group projects together over the years, but that was about it. So by that point, we had known of each other for about 3 years, and then that's when I decided to ask her. So 3 years of just vague awareness of each other's existence. And then I decided to ask her to winter ball. And me being the charismatic, smooth, suave gentleman I am, I walked up to her, handed her the flowers, and I asked her, will you winter ball me? And I was like, will you go to winter ball with me? And she just looked at me like, what, really? And I was like, yeah. And she went, okay, and so then that's when we started talking. So we started talking, we went to winter ball, kicked it off. You know, it was like almost an immediate kind of connection there. For some reason, me being, again, the gentleman, suave idiot that I am, I thought, hey, you know what would be a really good idea? I just stop talking to her. Ooh, yeah, that'll really get her to like me if I just ignore her and be a jerk to her and just stop talking to her. So obviously that didn't work. The senior year went by, and then we stopped talking, obviously. And then towards the end of the year, I was getting towards finals, and my grades weren't that great. And so I asked her, hey, would you be willing to help me study? And she said, sure, because she's a very kind and helpful spirit, and I honestly don't deserve her. I went over to her house, studied for a little bit, but it was really just hanging out. And then that kind of rekindled that attraction. And then it was basically like 3 weeks before graduation, we actually started going out. So great timing there, especially considering the fact that she's a year behind me and I'm about to go off to college. So we start dating. I go to college in the local area, so I can still see her for that year. And then she graduates, and then she moves to Southern California to go to college. For the next 4 years, we did long distance. And we only saw each other maybe once every 3 months or so, or when she'd come back for the summer, or if I would go down to visit her, or she would happen to come back up to see her parents for a while. So we did long distance for about 4 years, and then eventually we got married. So number 3 on the list, I was the anchor for my team's 4x800 relay in track and field. We were 1 second away from breaking the national record that had been held for over 20, 30 years. When I was younger, I did a lot of track and field and cross country. My team was very, very good. Like, we would go to what was called the National Olympics every year, which is all the best teams from around the United States would gather, and then compete. So it's pretty much the Olympics, but for America. And our team was good, so we would go every year. We would always qualify, be very good. We had a very high ranking team with I think we were either the top or one of the top teams that had the number of national records held. I did mid to long distance, so I would do the 800, which is like 2 laps around. I would do the mile, which is 4 laps. I would do the 2 mile, which is 8 laps. I was the anchor, meaning on the relay, I was the last one to go. When we were qualifying, it was like minutes before the second place team would come in behind us. So we were very confident that we were going to get first place, but it was just a question of, are we going to break that national record? And so we ran. I distinctly remember that last stretch, and there was this big timer, and I just remember seeing it was 9 minutes and 30 seconds. That was the record. And I just remember seeing I was about 50 meters away, and I see 9:27. 9:28, 9:29, and I knew I was running. I couldn't breathe. Everything was burning. I was sprinting for my life. And I just see the clock go 9:30, 9:31, and then that's when I crossed the finish line. And my heart just sank. And afterwards, the whole team, even though we got first place, all 4 of us, we were just so defeated. Like, we were looking like we lost everything. And I remember our coach and everybody else were like, you guys got first place, be freaking happy. Like, you're the fastest team in the nation right now for your age group, be happy. And we were just all so defeated. Like, we had our hearts set on breaking that national record. And we didn't get there, and it was so, so sad. We got the first place, we got the gold medal, and I even remember taking the picture. None of us were smiling. We were all just like, I know you can't see my face, but we all held up like number 1. We all just looked like just not happy at all, just flat-faced, stone-faced. We were the saddest winners in the world. I'm gonna pull in here. I love this spot. This is one of my favorite spots, just to come and just sit for a bit. You can just see so much of the Bay Area. You can see San Francisco over there. San Jose, you can see just the tip of San Jose behind the hill over there. Palo Alto, San Mateo, Cupertino. This is a great spot. Let me see if I can find what number 4 was. Nope, it's gone. I mean, so here's the thing. I'm thinking about different things, but they're not really that interesting. Rest in peace, Trebek. Let's jump to number 5. So what's probably going to happen is we're going to do number 4, and you'll see me following this truck for a while. Do number 5, truck is gone, and then back to here, where the truck is back here. So number 4 is I have a very eclectic set of hobbies. I mentioned I did a lot of running when I was younger, so I did track and field and cross country, and I'll do a lot of reading. My favorite series so far of all time is The Dark Tower by Stephen King. That's my favorite. Learned how to, like DJ, mix music, so that was one of the things that one of my buddies taught me in college. I would stream it online and just have a ton of fun with it. It was always like on EDM, so I do a lot of like house, techno, and then I also got into home brewing. So I've talked about that a little bit on the channel before, but I brew beer. I love to experiment and do different things, so different styles of beer. I'll add stuff to it, like sometimes I'll add spices. So like one time, like a few times I made like a chai stout. So it was a little bit spicy from the chai, but it was pretty good, not bad. But the key thing there is I brewed all the beer from when Tiny Tater and I got married. I brewed all the beer for the wedding. So I brewed 20 gallons of beer and put that all in keg. I have a kegerator at home, which Tiny Tater and I call the Kriegerator. If you watch Archer, I can have 20 gallons on tap. Have a ton of fun with it, and I like to do different styles. So sometimes I'll brew blonde ales. I like my favorite beers are like stouts and porters, but I really like most every type of beer. So I've done IPAs, I've done blonde ales, brown ales, and I also love to cook. I love to cook. I love to cook different things, and I like to think of myself as a pretty good cook. Tiny Tater and I will cook a lot of paella. Like that's kind of our go-to dish if we're going to be cooking for a large group of people. I don't know if tattoos count as a hobby, but I follow a lot of tattoo artists, have my chest done. It's a combination of different tribal designs. I know what each of the patterns represent, and I worked with an organization to get specific patterns based off of where family is from in the Philippines. So they're very localized patterns. But if you want to watch that video, I have a video on that talking through what each of the patterns mean and how I got the tattoo and all that good stuff. And the next step for me is going to either get my back or my arms done. So I have a consultation coming up with an artist, keep it a secret in terms of the style and what I'm getting for now. But yeah, I'm going to be getting a lot more done, that's for sure. So if you count getting tattooed as a hobby, you can check that one off as well. So number 5 is I have traveled to quite a few different countries and been able to experience so many different cultures and walk in different people's shoes. And this has been one of the things that has affected me and developed me into the individual that I am today, and really shaped my perspective on the world and how I view other people. So obviously I've been to America, I live here. I grew up in the Middle East in that small little country. So I've been to England, Scotland, Ireland, Spain, Belgium. I spent some time in Singapore, in the Philippines, India, and I've been to Canada as well as part of my travels in my previous job. The beautiful thing about doing all of this traveling is being able to see and experience so many different ways that people live. And even just in terms of cuisine, the food, perspectives, cultures, behaviors, religions, being able to see all of these different peoples and how they live, how they communicate, and seeing what their struggles are and their successes and what their values are. And this has shaped me to be an individual with a very open mindset. I truly respect people and see the value in each of their lives, and seeing and understanding that everyone's going through different struggles and different challenges, and being able to be thankful and grateful for everything that I have, because I've seen so many people struggling just to live, just to find food, just to find clean water, just to have something over their heads, not even a roof, just something. even across different religions, right? And seeing the values in different religions. I always try to find common ground with, no matter who I'm talking with, to build communities of people that can come together, which is really a big theme of this channel, is to bring a community, to create and bring a community together of diverse writers, perspectives, non-writers, to really have a conversation and focus on this common ground that we can share together. And to not create division, to not create conflict, but to bring unity and respect to one another. That's really a big thing of being able to travel and just walk in so many different shoes, and to just have that opportunity is going to be something that I will absolutely carry with me for the rest of my life, for sure. I can take so many different perspectives on one topic or one point of conversation, so it's where I can debate and I can honestly see, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and we can have differences of opinion, which is fine, but we can always have a healthy debate because there's a mutual understanding and respect of where each of us is coming from. And those experiences have shaped our opinions and our lives and our beliefs, and that's why we have them. So being able to have traveled and do all of that, I think has been to my benefit. And I would absolutely encourage everybody, if you haven't had a chance to travel, experience different cultures, to challenge yourself, get out of your comfort zone, and just go and do something entirely different. Just go somewhere different and just see how they live, see what they eat, experience it, and be brave. Like, don't do the touristy stuff, you know? I hate doing the touristy stuff. If I ever go to a country, it's like, no, take me to take me to where the locals go. I don't want to fly all across the world to get burgers and pizza and milkshakes and hot dogs, right? And just stay in the hotel the whole time and just go to the sauna and relax and do all that stuff. Like, that's not me. If I'm gonna fly halfway around the world, I want to experience it. I want to eat what the people eat. I want to do what the people do. Key example is, you know, when I went to the Philippines, one of their delicacies is called balut, which is a fertilized duck egg, and I have eaten one, it's 100% mental. I don't think it's something it's not something I really enjoyed, but I did it. It's 100% texture. It tastes fine. It just tastes like an egg. It's just that mental thing of you're eating a fertilized duck, and it's the bones, it's the crunch. It's all mental, but like, that's an example of the stuff I'll do. I'll step out of my comfort zone and really go and experience it. And when I was in Singapore, I went to the hawker stands and got as much food as I could possibly eat. And it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. It was so much better than all of the nice, like, hoity-toity restaurants that all the tourists were going to. Like, no, take me to the hawker stands. Like, that's what I want. That's one of the blessings that I've had that I think the vast majority of people in this world have not had. And that's not something I would ever take for granted. So if you do ever get an opportunity to go somewhere different, to experience something, do it. 100% do it. Even if you don't know what you're going to do, you don't know the language, you don't know this, you don't know that, screw all that. Just go and embrace it. Be brave and embrace it. And as a reminder, we're going to hit 500 subscribers, so do make sure you subscribe for that giveaway. So I'm going to be publishing a video with all the instructions for that, so I hope you don't miss it. But as always, everybody, be brave, do good, take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.